You have been trying to smash. I have the proof.
She says she got the proof.
A live TV confrontation so intense that the air feels electric, leaving everyone watching completely speechless. Rasheeda and Jasmine Washington, two women entangled in a web of heartbreak, betrayal, and unresolved tension, finally come face to face during a live broadcast. The studio is silent as the confrontation unfolds, emotions running high, and words cutting deep. Fans are left stunned, glued to their screens as the fallout begins. What really happened during this dramatic live TV moment? Let's dive into every jaw-dropping detail. It all started when Rasheeda, fed up with months of whispers and accusations, chose to confront Jasmine directly during a live broadcast of *Love and Hip Hop*. The tension in the room was immediate, the kind that makes you hold your breath. Rasheeda wasted no time calling Jasmine out for disrespecting her marriage and family. Her voice was steady but laced with years of suppressed frustration, each word striking like a hammer. Jasmine, caught off guard but quick to respond, fired back with equal intensity. She insisted she wasn't solely to blame for the chaos surrounding Kirk Frost's infidelity. Her voice cracked as she defended herself, claiming that Kirk had manipulated her just as much as he had hurt Rasheeda. The exchange quickly became personal, with both women airing grievances that had clearly been simmering for far too long. The audience was in shock as accusations flew back and forth. Rasheeda's pain was evident, her body language screaming betrayal and exhaustion. Jasmine, meanwhile, tried to hold her ground, but the cracks in her armor were beginning to show. It was the kind of emotional showdown that no one could look away from, a raw and unfiltered moment of truth that left everyone in the room stunned. To understand the weight of this confrontation, you need to know the backstory. Jasmine's involvement with Kirk Frost wasn't just a fleeting mistake. It was the catalyst for the unraveling of Rasheeda's marriage. Kirk's affair with Jasmine, which resulted in a child, wasn't just a betrayal. It was a public humiliation for Rasheeda. For years, Rasheeda tried to navigate the fallout, attempting to repair her relationship with Kirk while dealing with the constant presence of Jasmine in her life. She put on a brave face for the cameras, but the strain was evident. Each time Jasmine defended herself, claiming Kirk was equally responsible, it reopened wounds that had barely begun to heal. Jasmine, on the other hand, painted herself as a victim of circumstance. She argued that Kirk had pursued her, knowing full well the consequences. But her repeated involvement in the drama only deepened the divide between her and Rasheeda. The tension had been building for years, and this live confrontation felt like the inevitable explosion. As the confrontation unfolded, all eyes turned to Kirk Frost. His reaction, or lack thereof, was telling. Sitting silently, his expression unreadable, Kirk's refusal to intervene drew heavy criticism. Was he choosing neutrality, or was his silence a silent admission of guilt? Fans were quick to speculate, and a lack of action from Kirk only added fuel to the fire. Rasheeda's family and close friends, however, rallied around her. Their visible support was a testament to the toll this situation had taken on her. Off-screen, rumors swirled about growing tension within the Frost household. This live confrontation wasn't just a moment of drama for TV. It was a reflection of the fractures within their family. As expected, social media erupted. Within minutes of the broadcast, clips of the confrontation flooded platforms like Twitter and Instagram. Fans shared their thoughts in real time, creating memes, hashtags, and commentary that ranged from supportive to outright brutal. Opinions were divided. Some fans praised Rasheeda for finally standing up for herself, calling her bold and inspiring. Others questioned whether the confrontation was genuine or staged for ratings. Jasmine, too, found herself at the center of the debate. While some viewers expressed sympathy for her, others accused her of playing the victim to avoid accountability. The reactions were a whirlwind of emotions, with fans passionately taking sides. The confrontation had struck a chord, igniting conversations about loyalty, betrayal, and the complexities of relationships. Theories began circulating almost immediately. Was this confrontation a calculated move by the producers to boost ratings? Many fans believed so, pointing out the perfect timing and dramatic setup of the scene. Others argued that Rasheeda's raw emotions couldn't be faked, suggesting that this was a breaking point for her. Speculation around Rasheeda's actions after the confrontation was rampant. Many viewers were quick to question whether this was her way of making a definitive statement that she was done putting up with Jasmine's antics. For years, Rasheeda had been the one to hold the family together, trying to repair her marriage with Kirk while dealing with the constant shadow of Jasmine's presence in their lives. But this live confrontation was different. Rasheeda didn't just defend her marriage, she took a stand. Was this her way of signaling to both the world and Kirk that she had reached her limit? Fans were divided. Some believed that this confrontation was a turning point, a sign that Rasheeda was no longer willing to tolerate being humiliated. There was talk that this could mark a new chapter in her story, possibly even signaling the end of her time on *Love and Hip Hop *. For many, Rasheeda's emotional outburst during the confrontation seemed like a breaking point. It wasn't just about her marriage anymore. It was about her own dignity and the toll this ongoing drama had taken on her personal life. Her family had been through so much, and now it seemed like she was done hiding her true feelings. Some fans speculated that Rasheeda might step away from the spotlight entirely, choosing to focus on her mental and emotional well-being rather than continuing to live her life under the ever-watchful eyes of reality TV cameras. On the other hand, there were also predictions that Rasheeda would use this moment to reassert her role on the show. The drama was far from over, and some believed she would use the fallout from this confrontation to re-establish herself as one of the most powerful figures in the *Love and Hip Hop * universe. But what about Jasmine? The spotlight was on her just as much as it was on Rasheeda. Fans and critics alike were quick to predict what this moment would mean for Jasmine's future. Would she be able to bounce back from the intense backlash she was sure to face after the confrontation, or had her reputation been permanently damaged? Jasmine had always been a polarizing figure, but this confrontation could be a defining moment in her storyline. If she couldn't navigate the fallout carefully, she could find herself on the outs. Theories began to swirl about Jasmine's next steps. Some fans believed that this was just another chapter in her dramatic rise to prominence, suggesting that she would leverage the drama to secure an even bigger role on the show. She was no stranger to controversy, and some thought she'd use the attention to her advantage, turning public opinion back in her favor. Others, however, weren't so sure. Could this be the beginning of the end for Jasmine on *Love and Hip Hop *? If she couldn't win over the audience or the producers, her time on the show could be coming to a close. Her role was already controversial, and after the confrontation, many were left wondering whether there was any way for her to repair her image. The stakes for Jasmine were incredibly high. If the public and producers saw her as the villain in this situation, her time on the show could be cut short. But if she played her cards right, she could turn the narrative around and become one of the most talked about figures on *Love and Hip Hop *, for better or worse. Every move she made would be scrutinized closely, and her future on the show would depend on how she handled the aftermath of this explosive confrontation. Could she recover from the damage to her reputation, or would this moment define her time on the show? For Rasheeda, the impact of the live confrontation was just as significant. The drama and public scrutiny had been a constant in her life for years, but this moment could push her to reevaluate everything. Some fans began to wonder if this would be a turning point in her life, one that might lead her to step away from the show entirely. With all the pain she had been through, could she continue subjecting herself to the public eye? Or would she choose to protect her peace and focus on her personal life, away from the cameras and the drama? It wasn't just about her marriage with Kirk anymore. It was about her well-being and the toll the entire situation had taken on her. But there was another possibility. Many fans believed that Rasheeda wouldn't walk away from the show, at least not yet. Instead, they thought she might use this confrontation as an opportunity to redefine herself and her role in the *Love and Hip Hop * world. In a way, the confrontation could serve as a catalyst for a new chapter in her storyline, one in which she takes control of her narrative and her destiny. Fans had always admired Rasheeda's strength and resilience, and this moment of vulnerability could be just what she needed to reignite her presence on the show. Whether she chose to step back or lean into the drama, one thing was clear: Rasheeda wasn't going to be ignored. She'd always been a fan favorite, and this confrontation only added fuel to the fire that was her storyline. Beyond the individual fates of Rasheeda and Jasmine, the live confrontation also raised questions about the future of Rasheeda and Kirk's marriage. After everything that had happened, could their relationship survive this latest wave of drama? The pressure had been mounting for years. Kirk had been unfaithful, and Jasmine's continued presence only deepened the wounds in their marriage. But this moment on live TV was different. Rasheeda had exposed her emotions in front of an audience, and Kirk's silence during the confrontation spoke volumes. Was he complicit in the drama, or was he simply staying out of it? Either way, it seemed clear that the fallout from this live confrontation would have lasting consequences for their marriage. Could they recover from this, or was this the final straw? The tension within the Frost household was palpable. Fans had always been invested in Rasheeda and Kirk's relationship, and the drama of this confrontation only added to the intrigue. For some, the live TV showdown was a sign that their marriage could no longer withstand the constant strain. But for others, it was a hopeful moment, one in which Rasheeda finally took control of the narrative and demanded the respect she deserved. What would be the outcome of this confrontation for their relationship?